Hello guys, didn't see you there. So it's already week 4, right? So what topic should we discuss in week 4? Okay, let me see first. Week 1, week 2. Oh, here we go. So at the week 4 we should discuss about audit planning and fieldwork. But before that, let's see the intro first.
Like you, be strong to hold the powers of the sun.
Assalamualaikum, Miss. So this is our financial position.
Okay, you need to make sure this financial position have element of true and fair view.
Alright, Miss. Make sure that.
Alright guys, if you can see here, the management must ensure that the financial position have a true and fair view. There are components that financial position need to comply, which is M, measurement, O, occurrence, R, right and obligation, E, existence, C, completeness, V, valuation, and the last one is P, is presentation and disclosure. For measurement, a transaction is recorded to a proper amount and revenue or expenses is allocated to the proper accounting period. For occurrence, a transaction or event has taken place. Management asserts that revenue record in income statement which represent valid sales occur during that period. That is right and obligation. Let me see what is right and what obligation. In here, they said the asset of entity is the right, meanwhile the liabilities of entities is their liability. Management has said that the entity has legal right of ownership to inventory that's shown in balance sheet. Amount capitalized for lease reflect assertion that entity has right to lease their property and that represent their obligation. For existence, asset and liabilities exist at a given time. The management assert that the inventory that shown in balance sheet physically exists and it is available for sale. For completeness, account and transaction that should be included are included. Thus, financial statements are complete. Management accept that inventory represent all items on hand on the balance sheet date. Management also implicitly accept that the amount payable on the balance sheet include all liability as of the balance sheet date. For valuation, asset and liability are recorded at the appropriate carrying date. Management asserts that inventory carry at the lowest cost or market value on the balance sheet. For presentation and disclosure, amounts shown in the financial statement are properly presented and disclosed. Management asserts that the portion of the long-term debt shown as a current liability will mature in the current year. Management asserts through not disclosure that all major restrictions on the entity resulting from debt covenant are disclosed.
Miss, as you can see, your sales is not the same with your source documents.
Oh, I see.
So guys, what's wrong here? In this case, management have to 6 transaction-related audit objective, which is existence, completeness, accuracy, classification, timing, and posting and summarization. The auditor's transaction related to the audit objective follow and are closely to the management assertion. These transactions related to the audit objective are intended to provide a framework to help the auditors accumulate sufficient evidence required by the approved auditing standard and decide to the proper evidence to accumulate for classes of transaction given the circumstances of the engagement. 6 transactions related to the audit objective, which are existence, completeness, accuracy, posting and summarization, classification and timing. First is existence. Record transaction exists. Second is completeness. Existing transactions are recorded. Next is accuracy. Recorded transactions are stated in the correct amount. Posting and summarization. Recorded transactions are properly included to the master file and correctly summarized. Classification. Transactions included in the client's journal are properly classified. Last is timing. Transactions are recorded on the correct date. Sales transaction related to the audit objective. First is existence. Existence recorded sales are for shipment made to non-fictitious customer. Second is completeness. This objective deals with whether all transactions that should included in the journals have actually been included. Failure to include sales in the sales journal or general ledger when a sales occurred violates the completeness objective. Okay, next is accuracy. Recorded sales are for the amount of goods shipped and are correctly billed and recorded. For posting and summarization, sales transactions are properly included in the master file and correctly summarized. For classification, sales transactions are properly classified. Last is for timing. Sales transactions are recorded on the correct dates.
The first related audit objective in order to record balance in the financial statement is first, existence. All amounts included must exist. For example, all recorded inventory must exist at the balance sheet of data. Next one is completeness. All amounts exist must have included in the balance sheet of data. The third one is accuracy. All amounts included must be stated correctly. For example, price used to value inventory are materially correct. Next, classification. All amounts in the client's listing must be classified properly. For example, inventory are properly classified as to raw material, work in process, and finished goods. Next is cut-off. Cut-off is transactions near the balance sheet date are recorded in the proper period. Next, details tie-in. Details in the account balance agrees with the related master file amount, put to the total in the account balance, and agree with the total. For example, the total of inventory agrees with the general ledger. Next is realizable value. Realizable value is where assets are included at the amount estimated to be realized. For example, inventories have been written down where net realizable value is impaired. And lastly, rights and obligations. Assets are owned or controlled by the entity, and liabilities are the obligations of the entity.
The purpose of internal control is to provide reasonable assurance so that the organization can meet its objective. The system of internal control is defined as the action taken by the board and management to manage risk and increase the likelihood of the established goal will be achieved. A sound internal control system is important to a company to authorize, record, process, and report external financial data reliably in accordance with generally accepted accounting principles. Committee of Sponsoring Organization of the Trade Commission (COSO) define internal control as a process effected by Board of Directors, management, and other personnel designed to provide reasonable assurance regarding the organization objectives.
Before I explain what is importance of internal control, let me explain what is internal control. Internal control can be defined as the process designed and effected by those
charged with governance, management, and other personnel in order to provide reasonable assurance about the achievement of entity objectives with regard to reliability of financial reporting, effectiveness and efficiency of operation, and compliance with applicable law and regulation. So now, let me explain about the importance of internal control. There are two perspectives of importance of internal control, which are management perspective and auditor perspective. First importance of internal control in management perspective is efficient conduct of business. Control should be in place to ensure the process flows smoothly and operation free from disruption. This mitigates against the risk of inefficient and threat to creation of value in the organization. Safeguarding assets. Control should be in place to ensure the assets are deployed for the proper purpose and not vulnerable misuse or theft. This comprehensive approach to this objective should consider all assets, include tangible and intangible assets. And the last one is completeness and accuracy of financial records. An organization cannot produce accurate financial statements if its financial records are unreliable. So, systems should be capable recording transactions so that the business transacted is properly reflected in financial accounts. The first importance of internal control based on auditor perspective is auditor can use sufficient understanding of internal control to plan audit and develop effective audit approach. Next, auditor can have assurance about the reliability of data. The last one is internal control can help auditor to emphasize over classes of transactions rather than account balance.